Now, a couple of people have been concerned about the fact of, have I significantly weakened the knife by grinding in this area? Anytime you remove metal from a knife, you're obviously compromising its strength. The question you need to ask is, are you doing it significantly? Now, when I took the edge from 45 thousandths to around, I think this is 7 or 8 thousandths, the edge itself is not nearly as durable. So for example, where I can chop this into the wood right here, not really be concerned about it at all, and I could even chop it in, pry around in the edge like this, no issues whatsoever. That's not going to do anything to the knife. However, if I chop the base of it down here in, you'll notice that it goes in much deeper. But if I try to pry this out the same way, I could probably end up putting a dent or a bend right here in the main grind, because the grind on this now is the same thickness as you'd find on a filleting knife. You know, I got no issues if I want to do some light chopping down here. I can cut through this wood. So this is just fine. Wrist flicks, stuff like that. But if I'm really power chopping, then obviously I'm going to stick to this area up here. So again, area down here is mainly for cutting, area up here is mainly for really heavy chopping. But the concern is, when you're doing impact splitting, when you're beating on the back of this blade, either directly like using this as a hammer like that, or beating on the back of the blade, do you need to be concerned about a crack down here? The answer is no, because I haven't removed enough metal to compromise the primary part of the blade, which is up here. But that's just what I actually say. So what I'm going to do now to demonstrate that is split a bunch of wood, which I was intending to do anyway for another completely different reason. But what I'll do is, when I'm splitting this wood, I'll do it in a sloppier manner with a lot more force than I normally would. So I won't be as careful about where the knife goes in the wood. I won't really bother much in regards to knots or anything like that. I'll use a really heavy baton, which is this piece of birch, which is nice and still wet. And I won't be as careful about keeping the blade nice and straight like you should, and making sure it doesn't twist and all that kind of stuff. So again, my only real concern is to make sure that when I'm splitting, any knots or really difficult section of wood get contained in this area. The rest of the splitting takes place up here, and I try to keep this area right here out of the wood. Now, I have slightly reduced my ability to work on really large wood. I wouldn't try to split something like this anymore, because I'd have to try to get this section of edge in it. But again, that's just a choice that I make. I like a large blade like this that has 3 different areas on it. That gives me much more functionality, much more versatility in this large knife. And generally I find I don't need to try to split great big pieces of wood like this with a knife anyway, although it can be entertaining.